Hi everybody, it's Miss Hilleth. I'm kind of all over the place on the screen. This is day 3. This is elaborate. So we have taken notes. We've worked on vocabulary. We've worked on geography. We've done a lot. I'm really proud of you. So now we're moving on, and we're going to kind of do a little final mini project, I guess. So we're not done with Greece by any means, but so what we're going to do is this is day 3. This is elaborate. So you're going to expand on what you know, and you're going to show me what you know. So the agenda is students will show their understanding of the text. They will create a collage with 8 pictures of events they read about, or create a story using 6 vocabulary words. Number 2, there, and I know you're sitting there going, wait a minute, I have to put in 8 pictures, but only 6 vocabulary words for a story? Which one's going to be the easier one? It all depends on what you want to do. So I'm going to give you some further directions. So number 2, there will be further directions given, of course, given in the Google Doc that is located in the link below these directions. So you're going to click on the link, okay? And it is going to pop it up. I like this. I didn't know that Google did this. So here's what your choices are. You have 2. Choice 1. Section 1, information collage. Now, collage is a group of pictures, right? So, number 1, students will you're going to create a collage that consists of 8 pictures. They will showcase events or facts that are presented in one of the subsections they just read. So, a subsection would be like, so you're probably going to need this, which you don't have a paper copy, you have a digital copy, but you want to look at this. So I'm looking at Dark Ages. I think that's one of the ones I'm going to do. But then what do you have to do with it, right? So number 2, this is where you get to the meat or the heart of it all. Then they will write a brief description of what is happening in the picture and how it relates to the subsections of the section of the chapter. You're like, what does that mean? I'm going to get to it. I'm going to actually show you an example. So A, they will include a vocabulary word in the description. B, they must use a total of 6 vocabulary words in the collage assignment. C, the descriptions must be 1 to 2 sentences in length, and they should include facts or information from the text that they read. And the last part, students will bold and underline the words in the sentences. Number 3, students may use the slides that are provided for them, which are numbers 11 to 15. And if you need extra slides, you can just click on the slide, click copy, and go in between, click paste, and lo and behold, you have another slide. Okay, so I just wanted to show you how to do that. So, all right, so you're like, Miss Hilleth, what do you want me to do? Okay, you can be as creative as you want. So what I was thinking, this is so crazy, the Dark Ages, right? As I'm sitting here getting ready to do this video, it came to me of Dark Ages. And if you remember, there was a time after the Trojan War where it was really hard for people, and it was called the Dark Ages, right? And if you remember it, and I'm just going to read you a little bit kind of to refresh your memory, but after the Trojan War, basically Greece collapsed, right? Life went on, but poverty was everywhere. People were struggling to feed their families. They didn't have food to trade. They didn't have goods to trade. They really didn't know how they were going to take care of themselves. And so that's where the dark idea comes from, right? So if you remember, people started moving, right? So it says, I'm just going to reread for you because it doesn't hurt to reread something more than once, okay? Here's a reading skill in social studies. So it says, Greece's dark ages were not completely bleak. During this time, families gradually began to resettle in places where they could grow crops and raise animals. Some of these family farms may have developed into villages. Now, if you remember about Greece's geography, we have a lot of mountains, right? So it's very hard. They depended on trade. There was not a lot of ground, or it was hard to find ground to be able to grow crops and to be farmers, right? So you had to move. But moving was a challenge too, right? Because you had water on three sides, um, and you had all these mountains. So if you remember, they went and they developed the villages, and then when they chose where to build their farms, people flavored, flavored. Sorry about that. Oh, I have to be a little funny, okay? Favored places near rocky protected hills. Now, if you remember, this is where the Acropolis comes from, okay, right? So here they built structures to protect themselves from attack. The name for the fortified hill was an acropolis, meaning a high city. So here's what I was thinking. I like dark ages, I think of like black, gloomy clouds. So I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna click on insert and I'm gonna go to image and I'm gonna click search the web. Now, you can put one picture or you can kind of create a little picture based off more than one picture. So I'm gonna pick a picture of an Acropolis and I'm gonna kind of scroll and I'm gonna pick I'm gonna pick this one because it has the mountains and it said a high city. So that's why I'm gonna pick this one. So I'm gonna insert it and I'm gonna close this out, okay, for a second. And I'm gonna shrink it down and I'm gonna put it here. You probably are going to need more than the slides that we have, but that's totally up to you. Okay, so then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get creative and I'm gonna click on image and I'm gonna search the web and I'm gonna look for some like dark clouds. Ooh, oh, I found some good ones. Okay, so I think I'm gonna I like this one. So I'm gonna put this and I'm gonna shrink it down and I'm gonna kind of go behind. I can do a lot of things, and if you need help with this, let me know. But I'm gonna send the clouds to the back. Ooh, I don't think that's gonna work. Okay, so we're gonna send it back. I don't think this is gonna work as well as what I thought it was. Okay, so if I shrink this down, oops. Hopefully shrink it down. Give me just a second. Okay, I'm gonna play around with this more. I don't want to waste the time on the video. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna put like a dark cloud. Pull out. Okay, so there we go. We have our dark clouds. Okay, so then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna insert a text box. And I'm just gonna type, I'm gonna make my font, I'm gonna use my favorite. Bubblegum is my favorite. And I'm gonna use a different color font. So I'm gonna go blue and I'm gonna go maybe 18.5. And I'm gonna say, there was a time, I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. Give me just a second. There was a time in ancient Greece called the Dark Ages. Oh, sorry about the noise in the background. That's my tractor clock. There was a time in ancient Greece called the Dark Ages when people struggled to support and feed their families. They chose to move and develop villages of the farmland because they found farmland. This led to the development of acropolises of Acropolis. Like the one shown here. Okay, now I used to be an English teacher and I don't really like the wording in that sentence, so I'll probably go back and fix it. You have to remember, I used to be an English teacher, so I like to write. You don't have to give as much detail as what I did, but I basically took, okay, I took what was in the text and I put it in my own words. I do not, and I will not grade it if you literally copy the wording out of the text, because that's not what I want you to do. I want to see what kind of writers, I want to see how creative you can be. Okay, so this is basically what you're going to do. Now, thinking about this more and more, I think I would probably use Google Drawing, and I would put my pictures on there and then I would just add a link. But it's totally up to you how you want to do this. You know, you could be able, if you shrink the pictures up, to uh, make them a little bit smaller. And, you know, I can get 2 pictures per slide, so I'm probably going to need about 6 slides. It's totally up to you how you do it. So that's choice 1. Okay. Now, choice 2, I'm going to go back up and I'm going to click on my link again. Okay. So your other choices, if you're like, I don't want to do all that work, I don't want pictures, then you have choice 2, which is students will select 6 of the vocabulary words from the section that we've learned about, and they will write a short story to show their understanding of the words. Students will write a 1 to 2 paragraph story that shows me what they learned from the section. They will include a minimum of 6 vocabulary words. They will include specific facts or details from the section of the chapter. Now, the story can be funny, and that's what I'm hoping that you make it entertaining. I know that you guys and ladies are creative and smart and wise and can come up with some good ideas. So as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking you could do like a once upon a time, there was a young man by the name of Fred, and he decided to move to an acropolis outside of Athens when he couldn't support his family anymore in the small village that he lived in. That was just off the top of my head. So, but it has to be at least 1 to 2 paragraphs. So you have to have a topic sentence, concluding sentence, like a creative introduction, a wrap it up, kind of a way to wrap it up. So either way sounds cool. But if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Please use this video. It's a great tool. I showed you how to make the pictures. I showed you how to insert the slides. It's so much easier for you to watch and see what I'm doing than for me to try to explain it in front of everybody. So have a wonderful day. After you watch this video, if you tell me your favorite color, I will give you a shield. So hopefully this goes well. I can't wait to read your stories or look at your collages. If you have any questions, please let me know. If not, have a wonderful day.